Guys, we're back. It's been a while. It's been a while since we worked on this thing. We have Sergio's B13 here, and we have a little present for it. 20 some years ago, he bought a strut bar that never bought the triangulation pieces for, but today we're gonna upgrade that. What we have here is the new upgraded version 2.0 of that same strut bar. This is by a guy named Octatat, Mr. Chuck Olcott, good friend of mine. And if you don't know what his name is, you're not old school enough, or in my case, you're just not old. But we're gonna go ahead and get this installed. It's a little more involved than just a standard strut bar, because what it does is, come this way, Sergio. So what it does is, it's basically gonna go something like this, facing the other way. It triangulates the whole rear end of the car, really, so it stiffens up the chassis quite a bit over a standard strut bar that just goes across one way. So using these bars, we'll be able to go ahead and get that done. There are a couple holes that are gonna have to be drilled, because this bar goes straight across, unlike the first version. Now, the bottom as well, it uses 2 holes where the gas tank is. So we're gonna get under the car itself, drill 2 holes, show you what that's like. But you can't buy this strut bar anymore. By the time you see this video, I've probably already sold out the group buy on Facebook if you follow me on Facebook. If not, you're always welcome to contact and ask. We might have extra sets, but we're only doing 25 of these with Chuck. This is the first one, the test fitter. They're all nice and powder coated. That's because I sent it to get powder coated, but they will come raw if you're lucky enough to get one. But let's go ahead and get this installed on. All right, so what we've done so far while Sergio works on taking the old strut bar out is we went ahead and this base right here where it gets triangulated, obviously it's angled to fit right then and there, but we were already drilled the holes that go there and there. There's actually 2 bolts that hold the tank underneath that are you're basically going to use as templates, as markers. So what you're going to do is, or what we did is, we took a thin bit, drilled upwards to make a marking hole, and then we used a step drill bit to drill down from the top to make the bolt holes big enough for the new bolts to go in. So let me just go ahead and show you guys the 2 bolts. I do apologize for the noise, but this is one of them right here. With these lateral links. It's one of them right here. And there's another one right here. Again, lines up with this lateral link right here. This is the furthest portion of the car. I'm pointing towards the trunk area. So 1 and 2. So you see the bolt in here, it's holding up the tank still, but rest assured that from the top side it's already drilled through, so those bolts are going to come down and they're going to be nutted on this side. So it's going to go down this way. This thread's actually going to be threaded onto the portion of the vehicle that is threaded where you saw the bolts that I just showed you, and then just nutted from the bottom going upward. I went ahead and put the first portion of the base in here. I just used a rubber mallet to tap it down. It's a pretty tight fit. But one thing you will know is that basically this portion of it where one of the arms is going to go to, it goes into this hole. But on the B13 frame, obviously there's no way to fit it. So you're going to have to drill a hole through this base to come out through here, just like I did right there. And then once you do that, you're able to put this in through the trunk. So let me show you that. Hopefully one-handed here. So this is going to go through here basically and make its way through that hole that way. And then we're going to use this portion to triangulate it to this portion, which is going to sit right in here in this portion. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and then maybe I can show you the whole thing all together in no more than a couple minutes. All right, so Sergio went ahead and put the bolts in through the top. Basically, when those bolts that are provided in the kit bottom out, you'll have enough thread here for you to go ahead and put the nut through the bottom and hold the tank up. We went ahead and just put lock washers up above it just to secure that in. You could even double nut it here if you wanted to, just to be even more secure. But again, you can see that's 1, that's 2. Those are the 2 that are going to come from the bottom. And Sergio's going to show you from the top. All the hardware loose up here, so this is all movable. and this is movable here. So the only thing that's tightened down is that lower base. The reason for that is because we still have to position all these bars where they need to go, and to do that we're gonna have to move some of that hardware around so that we can get some of these bolts through the Heim links at the end of these rods. So you want to leave everything loose. Again, that's already tightened, that's not going to move. It's going to be where it's going to be, but everything above us, including into the strut areas, everything is loose, so that we can make little adjustments here and there and get these bolts through. I went ahead and angled them upwards like this, so I can put the bolt in through here, do it this way, and do it the same way on that end. So we'll show you what that looks like when we put it in with Sergio just now. Just gave it the final lockdown of the lock nuts that these aluminum bars come with. If you guys can see, obviously this is from the inside of the car, but those are the bases again. Here's the bolt that's coming through this tower where you drilled the hole, and then if we go through here, there's the hole where it's coming through, and obviously here are the rods. The rods go into this base. Now, the rods go into the front face of this base. What you don't want to do is tighten everything down before you go ahead and get everything into place, because you might have unexpected binding where you may think, oh, well, this doesn't fit or it's not right. You want everything loose. Nothing tightened down until the final fit. So what we did is, once everything was in, you might have problems, you might have problems getting these to line up here at the bottom to this base if you tightened the top two towers. So don't tighten that up. Leave everything loose till the very end. I'll show you what the configuration is like as I get out of the car. So just make sure that when you configure this, again, you want to go on the front side of this bracket, and you have the bolt from the back side. So the bolt is coming from the front of the car to the back, so that you can fit it, because if you put this the other way, you're going to run into the chassis itself and it's not going to fit, unless you have an NX and you don't have all this portion, obviously. Then you have a little more ease of use there. But on a B13, which is the Sentra, or the real B13, NXs don't count. So when you have a Sentra, you want to make sure that the nut, or the bolt, goes from the front of the car to the back, so you can fit that. So it's going to be bracket, nut, bracket, bolt, then the first rod, that's the one that bolts all the way across, then the other portion of the bracket, then the other rod, that's the triangulation rod that goes to the bottom, and then the nut itself on this side. And that's pretty much the whole install. You guys can see how it fits in there. Solidifies the whole rear end of the car. And just be sure that, because these swivel here at the top, because everything's going to be loose, just make sure you try to get it as straight as possible. Try to get this as even as possible. Make that bolt stick out as straight as possible. You're going to do a little trimming here, or you could just, like I did there, boom, done. It'll fit right around it. It fit right around it over there as well. But that's pretty much it. So where this differs with the version 1 is, it's pretty much just one hole and everything fits. It's pretty easy. This took us about, what, an hour and a half, Sergio?
Yeah, about
an hour and a half, but that was us playing with tools and making sure everything was correct, and me eyeballing holes that were pretty straight. So no special tools except for a step bit, a drill bit, a 17, a 19, and maybe a couple other tools. But let me show you version 1. So V1 is this bar right here, which Sergio previously had in the car, but we went with the V2 now.
And it's for sale.
And it's now for sale, yeah. So if you guys want to buy this one, I'll go ahead and purchase the triangulation pieces, so that this will be a triangulation bar as well, and then we'll sell it as a whole. But if you can't get into the group buy, right? So, but this one has the provisions here where you can go ahead and bolt this directly to the chassis as well for additional strength. The one that we just installed doesn't. Thanks for watching, and if you like content like this, we'll keep trying to bring it to you. You should have more TSX content coming soon, that's for sure. But I just wanted to show you this quick triangulation octatat rear strut bar install. It's pretty easy. Again, about an hour and a half. The group buy is going on now, I believe. Follow me on Facebook. I'll go ahead, or just follow Juan Ramirez on Facebook. It's the only one with the nice red Sentra. and then you'll be able to find my group buys. So I'll either post it on my page. We'll have Sergio's up for sale. If there's enough interest, we'll run an additional group buy, but for now, 25 only. And thanks. Like and subscribe, guys, if you like content like this. Once again, peace.